So I'm at the ducks and the ducks and chickens. This is actually a project which is now starting to do better. We're now having the chickens starting to hatch, and the ducks are actually starting to sit on their eggs. So this is a project that is taking its time to recap, because this was a project I had stopped because I felt that the person who was here was not really good at taking care of the chickens. Now there's someone I believe who's quite good at it, and so they're now starting to increase the number of chickens and ducks that we are going through. Through there is the maize. The maize is now starting to dry up as it was a very short maturity one, so it's starting to dry. So we're waiting for it to dry before we start harvesting the maize. This side, as I said, we had tried this side for the first time. Some has actually, this is still in the tussling stage, so we are not too sure if it's going to do well, due to the fact that the waters have now gone, but it's drizzling once in a while. So we're hoping that this is something that will do well this season. Now, as we go through, as I said, there were things that we did trial and error for the first time on this side, and as I said, it's all a learning curve. People may say, "Oh, you have been doing this for long." No, you can be doing this for 6-7 years and still actually get absolutely nothing. But it is a learning curve of how the soils work and what can be grown where. This is the sweet potato. The sweet potato first seemed to be doing very well. Now it's shriveling. It's not doing well. It's not because there's not enough water. There is water, but there is something that was probably placed on this piece of land which just does not agree with a lot of things. We've already done soil test and we were told what to do, but still the improvement is taking a long time. This maize is struggling, but this is actually maize which came after I planted this. Before it came after, this was the planted first, this was planted second, but this one is already tasking, already doing cobs. This one is still, it's like wilted, as if it was not getting enough water, but it was getting enough water. Now, as I said, the groundnuts, there is still areas that have not yet been pulled out, but it actually shows that groundnuts do well here, because the amount of groundnuts that came out of this small area are really a lot. And there were people who were actually working here, I think yesterday or today, plucking some of the groundnuts. So these are the groundnuts that the people were plucking, and they were shelling them. So these are the nuts which are in here. Some of them, there's still some which are on the ground, which are still being meant to dry, and there's all this whole section of groundnuts still to be harvested. So as I say, this area actually did very well for us for the groundnuts. So we look forward to harvesting, to seeing how many buckets come out of this. Next year, probably this will be one of our bigger projects that we'll be doing. Instead of growing the maize that didn't do well this area, we'll probably just grow groundnuts, because this year the groundnuts did extremely well. Here we planted them early during the rainy season. Probably if we had planted them late, they may not have come out. So these are the things that we're looking at doing, probably learning from what we need to do for this year to follow next season. The sunflower here didn't do well at all, probably because we gave up on it early. That could be a reason, but as I said, the soil was just not accepting the sunflowers. So these are the things that you learn even 4 or 5 years down the line through farming. And as I said, my goals are to tell you as it is, not to hide from you or tell you things that do not happen or cannot happen on a farm. There are times when you will win, there's times when you will lose. But as I said, in growing fruits and vegetables, these are things that you will do. As I say, like right now, my core business is not fruits and veg. my core business is actually pigs, and the pigs have really done well for me, and I would not refuse that is really been the business of mine that has really blossomed on this farm. So all these other things are things that I'm trying to see where do I fit in. But for the pigs, over the number of years, they have done quite a lot for me. And I'm back at these are sugar beans, still growing and doing well. The side, we planted them a bit late, but the soil is accepting the beans. So we are saying to ourselves, next season, this section will be most likely beans and groundnuts that we will plant through to on this section. So this is whereby I just want to give you an update of what is happening on the farm. Thank you very much.